If you're looking for a playground for your growing family, I highly recommend building your own. That's what we did. It's the best thing ever. We do not regret it at all, and it doesn't take much experience. Here's our before. This is kind of our junkyard on the side, and we are loading up these really heavy rocks. Fun fact, our house is actually made out of stone or adobe, and that was from a previous project. We are moving these T-posts out of the way, which was holding up some of our grapevines that we had to move to make more room for the playground. We didn't want to spend all day digging, so we grabbed our car jack and that removed them, and it was such a charm. Like, if you need to remove some posts, get your car jack, because it was amazing. Saved us a lot of time. If you haven't tried Home Depot's online pickup, that is a game changer. We ordered all of our supplies the night before, and it was ready first thing in the morning. And we got all of our supplies. We're kind of going through them, getting them out of the truck. It really beat going through Home Depot with like two babies screaming the whole time as we're trying to find what we need. So that's amazing if you haven't done that. Here we are, we're building our first platform. So I went through and I was hunting for months for the right playground. I just wasn't finding it. I was looking on Amazon, Target, Wayfair, Walmart, all the places, you know, that you just kind of find your playgrounds, Costco. But I wasn't finding the playground that was going to last. They were either just way too bulbous and too big kid, or way too small and we'd outgrow them in a couple years. So then it dawned on me one day, hey, we should just build our own. And we're pretty DIY. Like, we like to do things ourselves, but pretty dummy proof. It is a lot easier with two people. But the plans that I got are $15 off of Etsy, and you get about 160 pages worth. Here we are putting on these pressure treated pieces of lumber on the top platforms. That's about all the pressure treated lumber that it recommends in these plans. What we maybe would have done is done the whole thing out of pressure treated lumber if you'd like. Just kind of some things that we learned along the way, and I will tell you what those are, starting with, as we're cutting all these pieces, we wish we would have just cut everything. Every single thing that needed to be cut, we wish we would have done all in one sitting, because in these plans it kind of has you cut, assemble, and it's kind of hard to go back into the groove, especially because it took us about 3 whole Saturdays to do this project. We had to work on the weekends. This is during the winter time, so the sun was going down kind of earlier. We couldn't even work in the evenings after work. It was really just, we had a whole Saturday, we'd work, we'd have to wait a whole week to keep working. So hopping back into that cutting later on was kind of tricky. That's just something we would have done. Something else we did was we made our whole playground a foot taller than the plan. So there Dallin is, he's measuring our shed height because we didn't want to make it taller than the shed. That looks silly. So for instance, if it called for a 10-foot pole, we just made it an 11-foot pole. And we made it a little bit taller, which we really are happy that we did. This is our rigid table saw, miter saw, and it's 12 inches. It slides, it does all the angles, it's amazing. We use it for all of our projects. I have all of our supplies, and along with the instructions are linked below. So we are just attaching these pieces to the posts so that we can attach the posts to our platform. So what we kind of wish we would have maybe realized right off the bat was that we're basically building 2 platforms that are facing 2 different directions. You're doing all of the steps just twice, and we wish we would have done them all, you know, right then, so that we were making 2 posts at the same, or 2 platforms at the same time. But that's just something that we kind of learned. The hardest part of this entire project was getting these legs to be level and to be straight. That was really, really tricky. What was also tricky was lifting this thing. It was so heavy. I wasn't much help. So if you have maybe a stronger friend, have them come over and help you, because it was kind of tricky, just us. But we did it. We can laugh about it now. We kind of cried a little bit at the time. But we're kind of shimming it into the ground, and then we are kind of just trying to get it level, which we realized was a bigger job than we thought. Kind of moving dirt, adding dirt, removing dirt. Then we're whipping out the larger level because we're realizing that, okay, this is going to be a little bit more of a chore than we thought. So this is the taller platform. It was definitely a little bit trickier. We're mixing our cement, and we use 2 different kinds of cement. We use the cement that takes 24 hours to set, and then we also use the cement that you just pour in the hole and add water. Both worked great. I think if you have to kind of adjust your poles, maybe using the longer setting cement is good, because this stuff really does set pretty quick. It's a new day and we are starting on the second platform. So everything that we did to create that first platform, we're just doing it all again, and we're just having the platform be a different direction. Something that I love about this design is that you can really customize it truly however you want. We don't have a tree, but you could definitely put a tree and have built around the tree, call it a tree house. We call it a playground. We can kind of just make it whatever we want to, and we still have lots of plans to do, by the way. But we built the bridge. We are kind of just seeing how it fits, and then we're just setting it on these blocks while we install this second platform. This thing is just so dang heavy. So again, if you have a strong friend, hunt them down and have them help. But putting on these posts and getting this platform level was way easier. It's just closer to the ground, wasn't so difficult. If you look in the background, you can see our neighbors walking around. We have a privacy fence now, but at the time we were just counting down the days till we could get our privacy fence up, because the whole time they would just watch us build this playground and would come over and tell us what they thought, if they liked it, what we were doing, or if they had any opinions, and that was a little interesting. But here Dallin is, he's digging those holes. What we didn't know at the time is that those were not dug in the right spot. We were off a little bit. So here we go again, digging more holes, and we just have to laugh about it, otherwise we'll cry. But we're digging these holes, we're kind of getting this ready, and when we put in this other platform, we're just going the opposite direction of the current platform that we have. So we're shimming that over, getting that one set, and this one was way easier, like I said, to get level. Of course, Cove has to come over and give it her approval. She was just so excited, and this is when it really got fun, because we really could start imagining it. It started looking like something, and she was definitely excited. There goes Dallin. He's giving it our approval. He gives it a thumbs up. Cove comes up, and they're just having a heyday. She was so happy, and I'm just videoing like a good mom, because this is just such a good, this is a core memory right here. She ran up and down at least a million times, and then we realized, okay, she's up there, we need to start putting on that railing. So we're putting up the railing. That first railing that we put up, we realized this isn't very tall. She could bend over the whole thing. So we decided to make the railing 4 inches taller, which means that we had to get some more wood. But as a mom, I would recommend that. I really think that having that railing a little bit taller is just so much better for peace of mind, and there's no way that she's just gonna like fall over the edge. So that was something that took a little bit longer because we already had some railings made. That's something that I would recommend, is just adding on those extra inches. I'm jumping the gun as always, testing out this swing, but realizing I should probably put a pause on that. So lots of railing, basically for the whole thing. Lots and lots of cuts, but super easy, just a little bit tedious on that. And then you're going to use lots of screws for this whole thing. We used about a 75-pound bucket of deck screws, 3-inch deck screws, and we didn't even get halfway, so you don't need that many. We're starting to build this roof, and we used our plywood, and I decided, instead of doing shingles, that I wanted a metal roof. I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to paint the roof probably like a green, and it's gonna look really cool when we're all done. But I decided to do metal. The hardest part about that was cutting. We used our grinder, and that worked better than any tool, better than the metal shears or any saw. It just worked the best. So that would be my tip. As we're lifting this roof, it was so dang heavy. Again, get your strong friend. We didn't have one, but we're just like heaving this up. I'm laughing the whole time, and when I laugh, I'm weaker. And we're switching it around, we're lifting it up, and it fits like a glove. Dallin is just securing that roof, and now we're gonna move on to the steps leading up to the playground. We added a couple more in there, but we really didn't need to. We ended up taking them back out. You don't need that many steps, but we're securing that. And if you look in the top of the platform, you see the Cove's little IKEA kitchen. Of course, I couldn't wait. I had to get that up there as soon as I could. And we're kind of starting to get to the end of the instructions, which was just putting on the rest of the railing. You get really good at railing with this design. But now we're getting to the best part, which for me was the arch. I dreamed of doing this archway to make it whimsical, to make it fun. You can see all those sticks on the left. So I just trimmed a bunch of pieces off of our pomegranate tree and played around with the fitting. I sanded them all down so that they were smooth, got the bark off, twisted a bunch of vines around, just kind of made my own arch shape, and then stained it. I love the detail and the feel that it gives. I wanted to back in this platform with some leftover plywood from making our roof. I drilled some holes and then took my jigsaw inside of the hole and just cut out kind of a star shape. It's definitely regular. A lot of them turned out pretty wonky, but I actually think it looks more whimsical that way. At least that's what I told myself. But it's so cute, such a cute detail. I love the light that shines through, and it's just really fun. I stained the whole playground the color chocolate, and it took about 3 to 4 coats to get the desired darkness that I was going for. So this is kind of like an in-between shot right here of this. I probably did about 2 more coats after this, but just kind of giving you what it looks like as we go. We added some flowers and shrubs around the playground because I wanted it to look whimsical and lived in. I made this toadstool table. I have a whole video on it, but it just adds to the charm and the feel that I'm going for, which is, you know, imagination. I want it to be a place where our kids can imagine, be fun, be kids. And if you like this video, tag a friend who would build this, or better yet, help you build it, because you definitely need to make your own. It's been the best thing for our family. We love it. We spend all of our nights out here with our lights, and it's just the best. Thank you so much for watching, and follow along for more.